Okay, so here we go. I'll do the countdown, then we'll start for you people. So 3, 2, 1. And welcome back, everybody, to what will surely be another extended episode from what we usually do. If you were here for the San Diego Comic-Con post-show haul, which was almost 2 hours, it ain't going to be that long, but there's a lot to talk about with what just happened at D23 and everything that happened, you know, with Spider-Man and what's happening, a bunch of new characters additions. So, as always, hopefully you guys enjoy this show, and right before we get into it, you guys know how this goes. I got to show for a minute. So, CBC memberships, we keep raising a few new members every couple of days. Obviously, the community tab is where you see all the exclusive content. I did my thoughts on the new Titans trailer, Star Wars trailer from D23 and all that on there. You guys can find that. Of course, new game podcast. Me and Tristan just put it up post Gamescom. We talk about the whole Spider-Man Fallout, how it may or may not affect Sony going forward with the video games. So make sure you guys check that out because we put a lot of good discussion into that gaming podcast.
Just hopefully everyone loves it, and our thoughts on the new jet engine possibly.
Oh yeah, the PlayStation 5 jet engine.
I was going to say, you mean the Flying V?
Yeah. I thought it looked like a middle of a cruise boat. I was like, what is this thing?
It does. It really does.
So you guys can find all that there. And, of course, you can find us online on Twitter and wherever we are. Find me at Armenies and at Comic Book Cast. And I'm here with Mitch.
What's up? You can find me at Mitch692.
Also, Tristan.
Hey, guys. You can catch me at Jay Chance.
And Shay.
Hey, guys. You can find me on Instagram at Michelle1602.
All right. Trivia. Mitch. What does the numbers in your name stand for? Or is that just random? You were like, I like
692. Right. You know in school when you're doing like IT and stuff and you have to like make an email address for yourself?
Yep.
I did that and the email address I chose was already taken by 691 people. Or 91 people. So it's just stuck with me the entire time. It's just kind of like become part of the thing.
Man, I was expecting some sort of elaborate epic story of the days of yore when you were an epic gamer or something. It's like, nah.
Nope. Everyone's always like, oh, 69. It's like, no, it wasn't that at all. It just happened to be. That's it.
So back in the days of the AOL era, Tiny Mitch.
Might have been slightly before AOL, but yeah.
Back in the .com boom, this was my gamer tag when we play. What was those websites? Newgrounds?
Newgrounds is still going.
I actually just learned about that, and apparently it's like still going super strong.
All right. Let me see how many people can be dated in the comments. If you remember Steak and Cheese, let me know.
If you remember the Numa guy that started on
Oh
there.
my gosh.
I had a friend that was the spitting image of him, and he hated me for saying that. And it's like concept is like, can you do the dance? Like, just do it.
Just do it.
And of course, here I am. I'm the not original Numa. I am the Mexican and Asian
the
Numa.
remix one.
The remix.
That was
yeah.
like the best one for me. I loved it.
I go all the way back to the days like of the internet where Google Video was the rival to YouTube before Google Video bought YouTube. So I had merged accounts. That's how I wound up in a scenario with multiple accounts and merged names that make this account a disaster. But that's a story for another day, kids. So let's get into the show at hand. Let's start off with D23, which is the biggest thing that happened to entertainment this week, and probably for the rest of the year, I will say, because there was a lot of stuff that they were dropping left and right. You know, it's quite clear that D23 has shifted from a smaller scale thing to, no, we're gonna, like, blow it out here, which is honestly, I would say welcome.
Well, it's also like, you have to think about it. How aren't they going to blow it out of the water when they have the 3 largest franchises in the world of just Disney franchises, as well as Pixar? I count those as one. Marvel and Star Wars. So it's like, you can't not be the biggest thing out there.
The thing to me was this D23 was so big because it had to be the Disney Plus blowout, but also, like, not just Disney Plus, you know, they had their film presence, but it was largely, hey guys, Disney Plus is coming. Oh wait, we made pre-orders available and we crashed all of our servers because of the hype. Like, that's just telling you, and this was like just people online, you know, the people that can get into the queue early, so.
Well yeah, because wasn't it like people automatically signed up for a D23 membership just to get the 3-year special pass for
which
Disney Plus.
Right, every month comes out to like $3.50 instead of like 6 or 7. It's like, dude, that's a steal if you jump on that. Like,
and as long as you stay for 3 years, which come on,
which you're obligated to do it up
have
front.
to, like.
Yeah, it's an upfront payment, which again, fine. You know, you're guaranteeing yourself that spot. So if they increase price by $1, which they will at some point, you know, you're not obligated to do it, but. Out of the whole thing, how did you guys feel about the general feel of D23? Because to me, it felt like it's going to become like a convention almost. Like, it almost was becoming that, but now it feels like it's just heading in that direction.
I was going to say, like, for this year, like, it felt like that already.
yeah,
It's just like, okay, like, it's just literally its own, like, little thing to Comic-Con, so cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of weird because I've been to the Anaheim Convention Center, and the whole area is kind of big, and if it is getting that big as just an announcement, because originally it wasn't really that, you know, festive for fans. It was just for people who like Disney movies and like. So seeing it be something else, it's for me it's weird because I never thought that something so small would become its own thing.
Like, I think the mind-blowing factor for me was when I jumped on Instagram and I saw that Hot Toys is producing exclusive D23 Hot Toys you can only get there. And I was like, this has hit San Diego levels right now. Like, this is officially becoming a thing where it's going to start selling out.
Oh, no, I don't want any more scalpers.
What I also really enjoyed was the fact that if you watched, like, D23 live on Instagram, they actually sat there and not only were they excited about the news, they were really excited about the fans. And they actually made a massive push to the cosplay community within D23.
I think that's what this is. This is clearly the fans are what brought Disney to where it is. And this show feels like they're giving 100% back to the fans. Like, if you're a hardcore Disney fan, which, let's be real, if you're a D23, you are.
Yep.
This is a show that's for you. And I know a couple people online that I've talked to that were there, and they were like, dude, you get in there, it's like Star Wars Celebration 2.0. Nobody hates anything. Everybody's just happy about everything that's coming out. And I'm like, you know what? That's a nice thing to see.
Yeah, it also helps that the Anaheim Convention Center is like literally across the street from Disneyland.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. For people who don't know, it's just across the street. You can see Disneyland right there.
Well, that's predatory if I've ever seen it. It's a Disney convention across the street. Go spend more money.
Check out this new part we just revealed that's coming to Star Wars, and this new exclusive Kyber crystal for the lightsaber, which you can put in your lightsaber right now.
Just think, people who brought Disney Plus at D23 this year only spent $60 less than a lightsaber in Galaxy's Edge. So.
Oh, man. Yeah, so this was a thing of its own, but now since we're done kind of generalizing that D23, I just quickly want to mention it. The Star Wars presence there, that was really interesting to me because Star Wars was a big focus going forward. Obviously, you know, there's a lot of rumor stuff, but the big highlight was the D23, you know, trailer for the upcoming film, the last Skywalker film. How'd you guys just quickly feel about it? Because I know we harped on Last Jedi before it came out, and as it turns out, we were the ones that walked away liking it, because we're like, oh wow, they actually took our advice and did something insane that I never thought they would. You know, they didn't play by the book. So the new trailer kind of shocked me, because, again, it looks like J.J. Abrams is just doing whatever the hell he wants, which is kind of what I want.
For the first time in the sequel trilogy, it doesn't look like the old ones.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
It's shot differently. It looks different. It's just nice.
Yeah, it's interesting, especially with some of the stuff in the trailer. And I'm all for it. It's something different, a little different, but.
Well, I feel like they have to make something different. You are ending the Skywalker saga. That is actually what you're doing. It's not the end of Star Wars, so it can't be like the world implodes on itself. Right?
Well, it was kind of imploding.
I mean, it could well be.
Yeah.
You know, they keep saying that the ending is going to be groundbreaking, so for all we know, it could just.
It could, yeah.
It was already groundbreaking on Twitter because apparently Rey can't use the Force to bring her lightsaber back, even though it's been in like most of the games. So
right.
Yeah,
that's just post moving.
Here's something that like got me about this. It's like I keep going back to that interview with J.J. Abrams on why he decided to come back for this one, because he didn't originally want to do it. And he was like, after I saw what Rian Johnson did and what they wanted me to do, I just said, F it, I'll do what I want. And I'm just like, you know what? If you let J.J. Abrams unhinge himself, this is what you're going to get. And I see people that hated The Last Jedi watching this going, okay. Like, they don't know if they want to hate this or like it, because the narrative will shift for what they've been selling for the last year. So it's like,
that's what I've known. You know, when The Force Awakens came out, everyone was like, oh, maybe Kylo's going to get redeemed and Rey will go to the dark side. And that was the idea everyone wanted.
Yep.
And of course, you've had like a year and whatever of people like absolutely crapping on Star Wars. Now we get the little hint at the end that maybe she's turned. You know, they've hinted that in the last 2 movies that she goes straight to the dark side.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, what do you say now? Do you hate what you want?
I don't. Well, it's on Twitter. It's usually I don't want what exactly I said I wanted. I wanted something completely different, but still the same.
It's the Simpsons Poochie conundrum, man.
This.
It's Simpsons Panucci. Like that's what it is. Like you're sitting there, so it's like, so you want Itchy and Scratchy to be grounded to life and relate to your everyday school life, yes. But you also want them in crazy space adventures and fighting robots, yes. Like what do you want? Like I don't. That's kind of it. But D23 overall, I'm hyped to see what it becomes in 2 years, because they do it every other year. So clearly,
I thought they did it last year.
No, it's every other year.
It is
because next year's the Star Wars Celebration there. Then the year after is D23.
Yeah. Okay.
Which to me means that again, next D23, it's going to be another slate reveal. Like so. You know, it'll be good.
Don't they usually do slate reveals for Star Wars at Celebration?
Kind of.
They didn't really this year.
Right, it was weird because they only revealed what we knew was coming. So, I mean, we'll find out soon enough anyway, so. It is Disney. They seem to be throwing the wrench into what we expect, so, let's get
I suppose they're kind of copying the Marvel thing, really. It's
exactly.
Like, hey, here's the end of everything. We're not going to tell you what's after it.
Right.
Here's a few things, but...
I mean, it's worked for Marvel, so why not?
Yeah.
And speaking of working for Marvel, let's get into our first actual discussion of a announced show, which this has been a long time in development rumor. It's been alluded to for about 5 years now, but it's finally confirmed that Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, is getting a Disney Plus treatment live-action show by Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios, and this is hype. This is the hype.
When you ran downstairs to tell me, because he was up here watching as much as he can through like Twitter and that,
following everything.
Runs downstairs. He's like, "It's here, Miss Marvel's coming."
It's all that matters.
I was so hyped. Like this is actually one of the shows that I am really, really happy for, and I cannot wait to see who they cast and the direction that they want to go in, because they're gonna have to change a whole lot.
Yeah, I feel so too.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's the question. Do they?
Well,
do they have to change a thing?
So here's the thing: she gets exposed to the Marriagen Mist, and she has to be confronted by the Queen and the King of the Royals, and we'll never call them the other name. We'll just call them the humans.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Is like, how are they going to sit there and explain that she's an Inhuman?
Like, it's so hard.
Yeah, I just want to know, is like, are they gonna keep her original powers before they changed a bit to where she just, she can morph her body structure to bigger or smaller instead of how it was in the original, where she could actually shapeshift into other people.
Yeah.
I feel like they may not do the shape-shifting. I think they'll keep, though, the fact that she can enlarge and not enlarge.
Like she can make her fist go huge and crush people. Like that's kind of cool. Like, I think that's an aspect I'll stick with. But Miss Marvel to me is like one of these things where I'm so glad it's at Marvel Studios, because, no offense to Marvel TV, Marvel Entertainment, and Jeff Loeb. I love what they do, but they failed me half the time they've attempted something. So I trust Marvel Studios more to handle this better, and I'm glad this is where it's ending up. Now, at the same time, she has to connect to the bigger, broader world, because Kevin Feige said she's starting here, but she will be in future films. So
they said like every single one of these Disney Plus shows from Marvel Studios will be in the movies.
Hype.
Yep. So that means Captain Marvel 2 and Miss Marvel are going to be teaming up.
It's got to happen, right? Like,
yeah.
A connection.
So you can't make it a prequel now, or a prequel sequel. Like, you can't do that.
Exactly.
It's got to be Monday.
Yeah, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. So I think they're already planting those pieces kind of with the people, just how they're like wording everything, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you look at Miss Marvel, they announced this entire slate, right, of like 3 new shows, and they seem to be part of Phase 4. So Phase 4 is extending to 2022 by the look of it. That's my understanding, which, okay, 3 years, but another like 6 pieces of content is huge, and that's not even the end of it yet. So
this is just the beginning of what we're going to be seeing with all the new phases and the bigger world that Marvel is able to finally do now that they have Disney Plus in a really good standpoint position. And right now you're sitting there, and after the server crashes of D23 of them trying to pre-order Disney Plus, they're going to be like, okay, we can actually do more.
There's clearly a lot of hype for this. I like, though, that Kevin Feige came out and he said, girl from Jersey, Pakistani, like, he wasn't shying away from it, because a lot of people were, like, under the assumption that they're going to try to hide it. It's like, no, I think they're going to tackle her.
Which I don't know why. Like,
Same.
everything they've done prior to this is kind of like, what makes you think they're going to change any of that? Like,
Right.
sure, admittedly, Wanda and Pietro, a bit of a blip in the record. But for the most part, they've
Yeah, because I'm not that worried, because the basis for Kamala's story is that she's a first-generation American trying to get her parents to understand that the U.S. is a lot different than their home country, so they need to understand and learn more than just saying, well, this is what we did back home.
Yeah.
But
which is
they're not back home.
exactly why they use the Inhumans in the show, because it's a perfect metaphor for everything else. But that's just me.
but they ruined the Inhumans.
Oh, you can't rule what didn't exist. Come on.
I don't know what you're talking about, really.
Just a blip on the brain. So that's Miss Marvel. Hopefully we'll find out a little bit more soon. So let's change on.
She better be a fanfic writer.
Oh,
That's all
of
I'm
course.
saying.
Oh, yeah.
Of
Oh,
course.
she will. You know full well she will.
Oh, that's
Like,
going to be
come
amazing.
on.
I think this is going to be one of the shows that they stray the least away from trying to modernize her, because she's a very modern character.
Right, and it's like just translate what's been done properly, because it's like that. Those comics, there hasn't been a single issue of the Miss Marvel that people are like, this is a bad issue. Every single issue that ever comes out, they're like, this is good to great to astonishing. So like, why change what's worked? I mean, wouldn't make any sense. Let's talk a little about the Eternals. We finally got our first look at the cast. We'll talk about the additional member later on in the show.
Haven't you jumped forward on that one? Oh no, sorry, my bad. No,
we're going one by one here.
I jumped the gun myself.
This is how confusing it is. So,
Damn it.
the outfits. I think they look awesome, because it's still like that concept art look.
Oh, yeah.
And you can definitely tell they have that Marvel like layered look uniqueness to them, which I really love, because that's like their signature look now. So, Mitch, how do you feel about their look, since you're the foremost expert out of the 3 people that have read the Eternals?
Oh my God.
I mean, according to Twitter, I've never even looked at one, so I can't tell you.
Oh, that makes
But
sense.
I don't know. I like them. Like, are they exactly like full Kirby, like Feige said? No, they're not.
No.
Like, do they look? Have they taken like Kirby elements? Yes, they have.
Yep.
Like, you can tell that there's some like Kirby aesthetics in there. Mainly for 3 of them. Like the others, not so much. I've seen people saying like they haven't got the helmets on. It's like, well, you don't necessarily have the helmets on in the bit of concept art that you're shown.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's not the only concept art you're ever going to see, so there's that. I mean, for all we know, they're not even like the actual costumes. No.
Right.
Yeah,
I know it's always a theory of like, oh, it's just like royal robes, and then they'll do this. And it's like, maybe, but
It could be. The only one that gets me is like Icarus. Like, I was like, man, he's real blue. Like, I was
I
expecting a
mean,
little bit.
Icarus is just real blue.
I was just expecting a little more color to him. I don't know. He just seems a little plain.
Admittedly, there's a lot of red missing. Like,
Yeah.
he hasn't got the red gloves. Obviously, the belt around his waist isn't red, or if it is red, There's no red detailing anywhere, so besides, it's concept art. It's not going to be what you see in the movie anyway.
Yeah, you can just tell it looks like they CG'd their faces onto concept art.
Just concept art.
So when we actually get the first trailer look and actual real picture of them in suits, it's gonna be a lot easier to see
also,
some of the
it's
colors.
a picture where we're not seeing the layers truly pop, like, because they have like that, those seams and stuff that raise off of them. You don't get that in the flat image of the early concept art, so we're still missing a lot of elements of that. Which, if you look at like Angelina
You also
Jolie,
don't know the context. Like, you don't know the context of it or anything.
Right.
Like, this could be like when they're in like Olympia, so like 30,000 years ago.
Exactly.
Like,
and like the thing is, they there was an interview I believe with Angelina Jolie right after, and she said the Eternals will span the history of the MCU and touch upon like certain elements that we're not expecting and where they're going. I'm like, okay, so right off the bat, then I am expecting we're going to be jumping around like a million years or more, and that's going to be.
I mean,
really...
it's got.
Yeah.
We have to go back to like proto-humanity. So like
Exactly.
when we're barely walking out of like the primordial soup. So.
Well, how about that Celestial then? Because I made a video about it. I think that's the Earth and the Moon, but you can't really tell. So, how huge is that Celestial?
See, here's the thing. I think people are really mistaken this one. It's not big. No Celestial is that big.
Yeah, because that's like bigger than Galactus.
Yeah, like, Galactus is smaller than a Celestial. So, but I don't know. My thing is, like, people are saying it's looking at the planet. It's not. It's looking towards the camera. It's over the shoulder. It's looking at you. Like, it's purely perspective. You're seeing it from their height and like how big they are on the planet. So.
Yeah.
I could be wrong completely, and it could be like, hey, yeah, it's Exeter, it's Exeter the Executioner, and that planet's just about to blow up. But it doesn't look like Exeter, so.
Yeah, I don't know, like, because they've changed some of the Eternals' looks, obviously, when it came to modernizing them from original, but the way he looks is very, it's like tech involved with like this organic look. I can't describe how it looks. Like, it looks interesting.
Yeah, especially if you kind of look at the one image that we have from this poster. The back of his head almost looks like it's like a symbiote kind of trying to come out.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think that's just like the space dust and that atmospheric things.
Yeah,
Possibly.
that could be, yeah.
It's just not a very obviously good picture.
And,
the one picture that poster that doesn't get a good shot from D23 is the Eternals. Like, can we do better, please?
Right, because there's like thousands of people walking around with those posters. Why can no one upload us a better one? It's like
Exactly.
And if you look at the other art we got from San Diego Comic-Con, we see them and we see where the clouds stop, and then we see how tall they are, and you're just like, okay, these things are like massive in size. So I think there is a bit of that proportioning in the poster that we're not getting a full hang of. So
We also don't know what planet he's potentially standing on.
Right, or anything that's happening. So
I'm going to assume it's like Mars and he's looking at Earth, because why would you show a blue planet with a grey moon like that? Like,
exactly.
Kind of.
Yeah, I would be okay with that. So the Eternals is going to start getting underway real soon, and we're going to start getting more and more set leaks and everything. So we'll talk about that in a little bit as we now change. Oh boy, this is the unexpected one.
This is the one I screamed.
So, She-Hulk is confirmed for the MCU.
Oh,
So that means
She-Hulk's the weird one for me.
Yup,
It's
I never expected this one. I mean, I
No.
called this one like a year and a half ago. I made a video what I think is coming in the next 2 phases, and I said She-Hulk Disney Plus series. But that was just kind of me going, well, I think they'll work something out with Hulk, so I guess that kind of worked out. But I never really thought that they would get this far and work out a deal.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised, but it was a warm welcome surprise. And I wanted to vent my jubilation to Twitter, and surprisingly, a lot of people didn't know that She-Hulk's been a thing for around 30 years. And,
Yeah,
and
there's
Disney
there's
just
that
did
whole
this
thing.
on the spot for
They
She-Hulk.
literally think that they're turning the Hulk into a woman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah.
Twitter. That's
Well, here's the
It
thing.
was-
With this D23, a lot of people are exposing themselves for not reading comics, and
yes,
it's really
they are.
showing.
Oh, definitely.
Well, like I sat there and I got so hyped. There's a cosplay of She-Hulk as like Agent of Shield that I
Yeah.
have been wanting to cosplay, and I'm like, well, it's not like She-Hulk's gonna be coming anytime soon, and literally got so hyped that I wanted to run to Joann's like that night at 9 o'clock when they closed just to shop for stuff on
I mean,
this.
they confirmed it will be the actual She-Hulk. They're not bending anything around. She will be a lawyer. Again, confirming that element. So my going assumption is Hulk is definitely going to appear in this. He kind of has to.
Oh yeah.
And I
mean,
want it
he's
to be
directly
Professor
tied
Hulk.
to her.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like, he's directly tied to her origin. He has to be there.
Get that blood transfusion.
Exactly. So like,
It's yeah, I'm extremely excited. Like this is the weird one though for me. Who do they get to
I mean-
play her? Because you have to get somebody who is a bodybuilder. Because if you
But are you going to CG her, though? Because I would assume
I
they're
was
taking
gonna
a CG
say,
approach.
you cast Jen and then you CGI her.
That's my
You
assumption.
do what
yeah.
you do what you do with Banner. No.
Yeah. So you have to kind of, you'll keep the face, because, it's
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo now. It's not a CG
Yeah.
creation. You can tell it's Mark Ruffalo. So to me, I think you're going to have to balance out both. Like, get somebody that's a little bigger, but also have them, mocap everything and then make She-Hulk, look a little bigger. Because she's a Hulk, she can't be tiny. Like, that,
Yeah.
that wouldn't make sense.
and she's this is what's interesting though about her. I may be incorrect on this now, but isn't she always in Hulk form? Like she is how currently Professor Hulk is.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I don't. Well,
Well,
not now. She's not.
Yeah, it used to be.
Okay.
There was a period of time where she was always
Okay.
Hulk,
Yeah.
but they've gone away from that a bit.
Yeah, because originally she was always that, and she was always in control, but she
Yep.
still had those fits of rage that empowered her.
Okay.
And
So I
now
wasn't
she's
wrong.
more. She's kind of more like Banner right now. So.
Yeah, which
Okay.
I think maybe they'll play with the struggle of that because it would make sense if she in this show if it's maybe a little bit after her origin or we see her origin or they explore it and then having Bruce show up being like, look, it took me a decade plus. But I mastered it. Let me kind of mentor you through this, and she's having a struggle, which would then finally give us that Hulk story that we've never gotten on film because, unfortunately, the way things went. But I think it's a good way to do it by showing her and having to balance her job, which they said will again be a huge part of the show.
Oh,
So
I want to see her Hulk out in her
In her
outfit
suit,
and
yes.
like just that's like one of the most iconic pictures to me of her is she's in a lawyer suit ripped up because she's hulked out of it and I'm like I want to see that.
now,
Oh wow, I didn't know this. Before regular Jen, she's 5'1". When she hulks out, she's 6'7", 650
Whoa.
pounds.
Damn, Jen's a small girl.
Yeah.
That's tiny.
okay, so oh my God, that's
All right, can we get the girl who on Instagram her name is She-Hulk?
yeah.
Can
she's
we
pretty jacked.
get
She's just
her?
tiny. Get her to mocap and muscle cap her
Yeah,
because she would
for
look the
real.
part. Which, with this She-Hulk thing, again, it's another character that's confirmed to appear in films as well. So,
Yep.
I mean, right now,
A-Force.
yeah.
Which actually, since they're using her in the movie, like, hey Universal, what did you get paid?
Right.
Because there's no way Marvel could do this without Universal.
And
Yeah.
the fact Universal played ball with them makes me think
Yeah.
that there's other things involved now. Because
Some suggy boy.
yes,
Back
some seaweed is being thrown their way.
That's all you're waiting
some-
for
Oh yes.
is seaweed.
I'm surprised
And-
we didn't get it this weekend, to be honest.
Same. Which actually, let's go on from She-Hulk. Black Panther 2 has been confirmed with a release date for May of 2022, which many people thought it was going to be February because that makes sense again, right? But
Yep.
apparently not. So he gets the prime summer blockbuster position, which, wow, that is the most confident thing yet. Like, okay, drop him there. But the surprise that they didn't reveal anything, not even the real title, not the villain, anything, is kind of a little bit of a bummer for me. Like,
it's kind of like maybe Soggy Boy's still at Universal and he's not quite. Like it's not fully worked out yet.
And that might be the thing.
Right.
That's actually what I was getting ready to say. Is they may just still be in positive talks, unlike other people's talks. Like, this is actually going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
In a positive light, because it's like, hey, we have She-Hulk. We're still going to be able to have Hulk, and maybe they'll be like, hey.
It's kind of a backup into a corner situation, because think of it. If Universal didn't make another Hulk movie, right, the license would revert back. But Marvel wants to keep them, so they just want them to go, hey, we're not going to make anything with the Hulk anymore. So what are you going to do? So they have to play ball with each other. And I think, obviously something came to it. But when it comes to Black Panther 2, you look at this movie, I definitely think there's still some of those discussions. And to me, Black Panther 2 is an interesting one from the position we knew this was coming. Like, this was a guarantee, And everybody suspected 2022, which, again, that ended up happening. Just everybody got the wrong date, which... there was that report like a month ago, people being like, this is the confirmed list of titles. They were wrong, but it's, to me, I don't know. I feel like Black Panther 2 should have done a little bit more to get headlines. Like, yes, it's big, it's coming, but everybody knew it was coming, Like, something was missing there.
Maybe New York
When
City.
you haven't got anything, like, it's kind of, like, you can't grab a headline with, like, oh, yeah, this is the, 2. Yeah, cool. No,
Right.
that's not a headline.
Yeah, exactly. Like, everything else at D23 went over this because this was just to announce a sequel with a 2, like not even a title,
Yeah, because like the only thing they announced was Ryan Coogler coming back to write and direct it again,
which we knew as well. So
right, and that was the thing. Like, it felt a little flat on its face. Again, nothing against Black Panther. Black Panther is in my top 5 MCU films, so this is literally one of my most hyped for things that's officially confirmed for the MCU. If Namor jumps in here by some miracle, it will be my number 1 thing of all time ever for Marvel. So
so this was it's what like one of the current rumors is that they're still trying to get the script ready and all that for either Namor or Princess Xanda being the antagonist.
Well, by the way Marvel goes, they'll have to start production on this by May of 2021. So they still got a year and a half before they get rolling with the camera. So they're still a little bit of a way off. So I understand not wanting to be like, our title is Black Panther, Rise of the Water King, Atlantis
The King
God.
Dead.
Right, the King Dead. There we go.
Dead.
The King Dead.
Atlantis
That's the title.
Rising.
Yeah, like, they don't want to confirm that, but at the same time, Black Panther 2 should have gotten way more headlines, but it didn't because of the lacklusterness. Like, it felt like it was just thrown in there because they're like, we need to announce something.
Yeah.
Go out there and announce one Marvel film.
Yeah, to me it is surprising because even Black Panther is like prominent in Disney's Animal Kingdom. Like, that's where you find most of the Black Panther merch.
Which is probably why they announced his one, because what's in February 2022?
It's got to be Blade now, right? Because that would make sense with the synergy of the month. And if you toss Blade in there, I mean, something else we'll talk.
February is a weird time for a Blade movie.
Well, if you go by vampire movies, it's either January, February, or the fall months of like September, October.
We've learned you can sell blockbusters in February now, and for me, it's
that's true. That's true.
And to me, I think it, again, goes with that synergy of, oh, look, we're going to put out everything here. We moved Black Panther last time. It was in February. It had perfectly sunk up with everything we wanted to do. It made sense, just like Captain Marvel on International Women's Day made sense.
Yeah.
I think now if you drop Blade in there, it has all that hype going into it, but it's also Blade, which many people from 20 years ago that watch Blade are excited for Blade. I think it's going to drive a huge number of people to go to it. So it certainly will be interesting to see how this goes, which we'll talk a little bit more about 2022 in just a little bit for you guys. So, Moon Knight, officially part of Marvel Studios as a TV series, and...
Which is another shocking, like,
wow.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Moon Knight won't work because it needs to be rated R.
Oh, man. Yep.
Can people at least read the wiki? It's not difficult to read the wiki. Like, come on now.
People know Moon Knight from 2 panels tops. And if you read Moon Knight, you're like, no. This character has a lot more than just the super violence. That's like taking Punisher.
He's not even super violent. He was super violent in one run for like a page.
Right.
and that's it.
If you actually read a lot of his stuff, it's very like who Mark Spector is, around him being Jewish, who he works with, what he's fighting, you know, obviously his military service and all that. Like, there's a lot to that character that people are just ignoring. So, and then on the fact that people are like, PG-13, you're not going to do it right. Look, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., brain surgery, cutting off arms, and that's PG. It's not PG-13.
Also, look at Thor decapitated Thanos.
Yep.
Like,
that's
guys.
my go-to one.
Come on, guys. Like, I understand you're trying to throw Disney under the bus because it's not rated R. You've seen maybe 3 rated R films in your life, okay? Just back up a second and be realistic about this. Has Marvel Studios failed you yet? Right.
And we're also at the point, it's like, if you actually look at rated R, the reason why something is rated R is because of an overextensive amount of blood and or too much sexual content.
Right, nudity. That's the big one. Yeah.
Or even just swearing. Like they're the main 3 factors.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make anything good.
No. Like, there is, you know, an aspect of it that I understand where people are coming at it with, but again, you don't need to. And I remember people freaking out because, you know, like Daredevil wasn't rated 18 or plus. Daredevil turned out just fine, and it was barely pushing that age limit they were going for. So, again, there is content here that is able to service the story and how they're doing it. And Moon Knight is certainly going to be interesting because, again, he's a schizophrenic and a big one at that. Like, so exploring those elements of that story, I think, is going to be really important. And Kevin Feige was sure enough to stress that they are going in that direction.
I wonder if they're going to go into his origin of him being an African mercenary.
Definitely.
And all that with the Egyptian moon god.
I mean, he said when they announced it, they're going to like toy with the whole like, is he, you know, empowered by a moon god or is he just crazy?
Right.
So just from that little line, you kind of get the sense of where they're going, which is kind of the more recent runs, like the Jeff Lemire and all that. So hopefully not the I think it's Bemis or Bumis. Like, keep away from that run.
Yeah. So, well, which costume then is he going to do? Is he going to do the more like suit modern or like his full on?
Both. I think they go both.
Right. Here's my thing. I'd rather him just have the one and do the black and white one from the recent comics.
Yep.
If you want to go full crazy and have like 3 different suits for each personality, do all 3. Like, do the more white and silver one, do the black and white one, do the suit one.
Yep. So the thing people need to understand is this is confirmed for a 2022 release date. That's why they announced it. Now, here's why in the earlier topics we did, I was talking about Blade. If you drop Blade in February for that release date, you can attach a stinger with Moon Knight at the end as a post-credit and build up to that show. Kind of like introduce, you know, a stinger or a trailer, which I'm going to assume they're going to drop somewhere in there.
Oh, I never thought of that. Are they going to have to specify what's a movie and what's a show at the stingers now?
Right?
What they'll probably do is they'll have the stinger and then like just the little Disney Plus or Marvel Studios like on the bottom of it to be like, all right.
Which to me, this is now why I'm saying drop Blade, build it up, and then in the fall you release Moon Knight with guest starring Blade. Like,
so at the end, we now have Blade will return on Disney Plus Moon Knight.
Yeah. Yep. It's gonna suck if they're gonna do what they're gonna do with the Mandalorian, where it's just gonna be 1 episode a week instead of binging everything.
I mean, they have to do that. There's no way around it. They don't have the original content library there to warrant dropping everything in one.
Exactly. And honestly, just think of it. Between Star Wars and Marvel, and them producing 3 shows each a year, we're gonna have if you do the math correctly, we're having a new episode of something every week from one of those 2 every year ongoing. Like, we're never going to run out of new content to talk about, which, again, this isn't the end of it. as they talked about it before. So to me, I think Moon Knight has this chance to show us how dark Disney is going to go. And if you watch the Mandalorian trailer, he chops up a person with a door.
Like,
I mean, just the first shot of the stormtrooper heads, like, oh, that's not Star Wars, I know.
Yeah, they're really going to be able to give us a little bit of everything with characters that we may not know a lot about or that we've grown up loving our entire lives. So it's a really exciting time for everything that's coming to Disney Plus, and not even just Disney Plus, everything that's coming with Hulu and the movies. It's like, it is, honestly, I think every year we keep saying this, it's the best time in the world to be a nerd.
Yeah. It never stops being true right now. Like,
I know.
That was my Emperor Unlimited content, just weaning in the back. So,
oh my god.
Moon
Is that
Knight.
what that was?
We'll talk more about Moon Knight soon, because I'm assuming rumors are coming.
Just before we move on, I want to ask a question.
Uh-huh.
Do they make him an Avenger?
No.
Because he's been on 3 different Avengers teams.
Okay.
Dark Avengers.
Here's Armin staking his call me back on my BS in 4 years when I eat my words, okay? Alright. I am now backing a more street-level team that will consist of Moon Knight, Blade, Shang-Chi, and if they work out a deal, Redacted Man. I want
Man.
that, okay?
Aquaman.
No.
I mean, to be fair, they keep him on one Avengers team. No.
I think they might go on an Avengers team, but I think they do that split, you know, like we've heard before.
Because if you look at the 3 teams that he was on the Secret Avengers, the West Coast, and Avengers. So 2 like secondary Avengers teams. So maybe.
I mean, inevitably we're getting that giant crossover again, like Infinity War, where they're all together.
Yeah.
So we can look forward to that. So I think at one point they'll all be Avengers. Like, I can't wait to see.
Just like the Bendis run. Cool.
Yeah, it's just exactly. Everybody's an Avenger. He was Oprah during that run. That was just too much.
And you get a membership card, and you get a membership card.
Everybody had one. Like,
Everybody's gonna just be injected with a little thing in their arm. It's like,
You're
there you
an
go.
Avenger now.
You're an Avenger now.
Scan this at the door. Now we're coming down to MCU in 2022. Black Panther announced for May, February, and July now have open dates.
And unfortunately, July is no longer going to be a friendly neighborhood person.
For
We do not know that yet. We do
MCU
not know
at least. But let's look at what we know. I mean, Captain Marvel 2 or Guardians, I'm going to guess, is going to July.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm going to
it's
guess
gotta be one of
Guardians, you know, like...
that's if they stick with the whole 2 sequels a year and a new property thing. Mm-hmm. Which, then again, now with Disney Plus, who knows what they're doing with all that, so...
Right. And here's the only reason I'm saying Captain Marvel might get that, and that's due to the synergy with the Miss Marvel show, which is coming that same year.
Yeah.
If you put it there, the synergy makes sense. If you drop Guardians, it doesn't line up as much, and it's still... Who knows how long it's going to take James Gunn to actually get everything hashed out, because he's still deep on Suicide Squad, and if Suicide Squad goes sideways at some point, he's got to come back for reshoots, so...
Yep.
You know, it could take a little longer.
Yeah, that's what we were sitting there talking about one day, traveling. It's just like, they aren't going to talk about Guardians 3 for a while, because if you're a rivaling company who has the main director of a movie that surpassed everything that you've ever done in your company, you're gonna sit there and be like, oh no, you know what, we want to go into a different direction, get Gunn back, oh no, you know what, we're changing it again, let's get Gunn back. And it's just, if you're a scummy place, I'm not saying they are, but it's a tactic that they could
Warner
potentially
Brothers
use.
has a bad tendency for doing extra additional reshoots, especially when they get uncomfortable. I'm hoping they trust Gunn and he can get Guardians out on time, but I think just looking at 2022, 3 films and 3 TV series is a lot. Like, that is a lot of content to drop in 1 year. And do you think they could maybe toss in something else new? Like, is there a possibility they go, hey, end of July, here's your Fantastic Four?
I mean,
real soon.
sure.
Well,
That would actually be really interesting if they did drop that and then save 2023 for Captain Marvel with Miss Marvel after the whole her show coming out in 2022. Because right now, Phase 4 is still in 2022. So I feel like you can't actually release Blade then. Because 2022, a lot of the TV shows are still called Phase 4, but then you're going to have the movies in Phase 5?
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. I think the whole Phase 5 thing's an assumption on our part. Like, yes, Feige kind of said it like that at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But at D23, when they had the extension of Phase 4 go for these 3 shows, they kind of, like, didn't tell us the whole truth.
Right.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
So the Feige truth of here's a truth, but a lie truth?
Yeah, pretty much.
Feige swiped the truth to the side and answered it with a lie truth. Yes.
Yeah.
The master PR at work. So, like, I feel like maybe if they were to, let's say Captain Marvel does get bumped to 2023, then if you drop Miss Marvel at the end of 2022, November, December, and you drop Captain Marvel in, like, May, I think that's close enough within 6-month window that you can connect the two a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And
This is the thing. Do they have to come out around the same time?
I would assume within 6 months. That'd be my window. Like,
Because I think it's a safe bet to assume that they would come out relatively close. But it's just like, do they? No, is that something they do? Obviously, they've never done something like that before, so it's kind of a different situation. But it's just like
I mean, they tried it with the early seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and those suffered due to it. They're like, oh, Extremis is out there. Make sure there's this guy with Extremis in his blood for 2 episodes. You're just like, And when they got away from that, it worked. But again, it wasn't Marvel Studios TV, and that's the masterminds here at work trying to figure it all out. So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. But either way, I think we're all hyped for 2022.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't even know what half the stuff they got is, but yeah, bro.
But we're hyped because everything else is pretty hype.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but to be fair, the check cleared yesterday, so I have to be.
Oh, I'm even more hyped now. I haven't checked it. Hey,
But also Doctor Strange, too. That could be a 20... Oh, no, that's 2020.
I would say they announced that at Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's 2021, is it? Yeah, I think.
They could... Could we get a Doctor
2021.
Strange 3 with a year?
There we go.
We'll talk about Doctor Strange involvement, but that'll be for the member exclusives. So let's get on to the... Oh, boy. The whirlwind keeps on spiraling. Pot shots taken by people. Rumors, confirmations, unsubstantiated sources. Everything you could want with a good mystery novel is happening with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And spearheading it all is we got this covered.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Okay, so where do we currently stand? Because at any given hour, there's 3 conflicting reports.
I mean, I've kind of given up just following everything. Like,
Yeah.
It's just the thing. No.
It's become just a tangled web. Ka-ching. I've been saving that one since this morning. I was like, how am I going to walk into that one?
Feel bad.
So
I'll smack him, guys.
here's like the thing with this, right? It fell apart badly when Sony issued that statement on Twitter, literally just pointing a finger at Kevin Feige going, you're 100% to blame.
Yep.
And then Kevin Feige and Tom Holland looking nervous, like there was like snipers pointed at them during the Entertainment Weekly interview. Like Tom Holland literally looked like he was about to be like dragged away into a dungeon.
I mean,
Well,
you think the Marvel snipers are bad. You ain't seen the Disney ones.
Right.
Well, you also have to realize they probably had to tell Tom something and tell him to not say anything. So he's biting his tongue like...
Here's what blows my mind about this, though. Tom Holland said the Spider-Man 3 is going to pick up after the events that change his world in the last film.
Let's be honest here. Tom Holland ain't gonna know crap.
Exactly.
He's an actor. He's not an executive. All he knows is that they pitched a movie, and that at this point in time, it's gonna pick up after Far From Home. That's all he knows. That's all he's gonna say.
Which doesn't make sense at all because they can't. We actually know they cannot physically set this in the MCU. So what a mess. Like, that's all this thing is. And again, everybody that's suffering is the fans of Spider-Man now, and
Yep.
the backlash against Sony and a backlash against Disney, which was then, D23 fixed that, so everybody's back in their favor now. But it's kind of ridiculous how big it is.
I wonder if they had to sit there because that Disney does not know the actual what could potentially be happening. So they had to sit there and be like, this is what you're allowed to say, because we cannot confirm or deny at this point that yes, you are gone. So just say it picks up from these events.
Here's the thing. If Kevin Feige's been shut out for the last handful of months, which he has, because we know that's been a thing, that Sony hasn't been talking to him, whatever they're doing with Spider-Man, he has no idea.
Yep.
So it's a weird scenario, and what really gets at me, and this is the worst part, is if Sony knew this is how they were ending the entire thing and the partnership, they should have told Feige so they could not have major cliffhanger story.
It's Sony, shady as hell, man.
Sony's shadiness right there shines. You can't defend that. If you're defending that, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, that is
here's the
bad.
thing, like, it was shady. The second they had that little Twitter PR thing,
Yep.
it was shady as hell. So, I guess Disney, kept Feige doesn't have time to do anything with Spider-Man. It's like, that's not a PR statement you make.
Yeah, especially
what the
at
hell's
3
that?
o'clock in the morning. Or at least in our time zone. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, wait, for real? It's... Everything about this just has this disgusting slime on it, and I'm going to blame the black slime.
I was going to say, you mean Venom. Like, I very much agree there.
This whole situation is just really, really weird and really bad at the same time. You don't really know the full story. To me, I just chalk it up as a little bit of truth on both sides.
That's the
and then like the fans who blame one side or another side are like, oh, I blame Disney because it's a monopoly. Last time I checked, it wasn't a monopoly because Batman and Harry Potter are trying to sell you smartphones. If you guys forget about that. And then there's guys on Twitter yelling, saying that that this is unfair and Disney needs to play ball all while buying Mickey Mouse hats at Disneyland.
Yeah, that's, the thing with this is both sides are clearly somewhere in the middle. They gotta meet, and that's where the story lies. But it's unfortunate this is how everything is shaking out, and that the fact that the future of Spider-Man is now the actor we love in the film franchise that we don't love being shoehorned in there in some way, shape, or form or something. It's just going to feel so dirty. Like, that's the way I look at this whole thing. Everything is dirty about it. Like, there's nothing...
I mean, I wouldn't know 'cause I'm not going to watch it. So.
and people think that this is going to be the MCU Peter that they come to know. It's going to be a completely different Peter Parker.
So,
it has to be. Every aspect of it has
He can't even act the same way. He has to be a completely different character. So his characteristics, the way Tom Holland acts as Peter, he cannot mimic those or they're going to get sued.
That's
Guys.
if Holland actually stays.
True. Exactly.
This is what's going to happen. It's going to be Spider-Man 3 that when he sits there and he's in the symbiote suit and he's got the dark eyeliner and he's just like, ba-da-cha, ba-da-cha.
No,
like,
guys.
he's going to be like that.
Oh, no. Guys, no. I figured it out.
Oh, no.
I figured out how Sony's going to cheese this to try to pull one on the stupid people. They're going to call the film Spider-Man Trinity and throw Carnage and Venom in it. Because 3 Trinity, and try to throw people off from it being a third.
Ooh. Oh, no.
I don't even want to be sitting next to you because Sony execs are listening to this saying, oh my god, this is the best thing we've ever heard.
I know there's people at Sony that listen to this, and they're writing this down right now and sending it down the pipeline.
So, if you're listening, can you slap Rothman?
Can you give them less paint chips from the Wolverine set? Like, maybe, I don't know, give them real chips? Like...
Let's be honest. Let's look at the track record that these people in Sony have had. Like, yes, there might be some truth on both sides. Like, they might both be to blame. But one's got Rothman and one's got a Rad. Now, I'm sorry, is it really Disney's fault when they have those two over there?
Now,
like, come on.
Here's the thing. When people say, but Rothman and Arad gave us Spider-Verse, No, they didn't.
No, that was Sony Animation. That gave
Sony
us
Animation,
Spider-Verse.
and actually Arad was very much hands off, and Rothman did not care about the movie, so he wasn't there day to day, and that's why it didn't get as much of a marketing budget as their other
And
films,
in
because he was like,
fact-
it's a cartoon.
The only person that had their name on Spider-Verse was Amy Pascal.
Our savior, we're sorry we doubted you.
To be fair, you are a racist, not very
Yeah.
nice person. But,
But-
thank you for that one good thing you did.
But this is Hollywood, and you
That's so
fail
good.
upwards as
Yeah.
you did, so...
Yeah, I think the third movie is going to be called Spider-Man: Web of Shadows.
Oh, it probably will.
No, because then you're sitting there putting a bad name on the video game.
I mean, was Web of Shadows that great anymore?
Well, hold on,
I
which
don't
one was the
know.
Web of Shadows?
It's the one where Venom takes over New York.
Yeah, and like Spider-Man has a portion of the symbiote, and
Yeah.
you have an
okay,
option.
so I'll tell you right now, that game was a solid 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
It
that sounds
had
about right.
Black Cat, and that's the only thing. I
Every
cared about.
Spider-Man
Oh no,
game has
you're thinking
Black
of Edge
Cat
of
in it.
Time, Shay.
Oh,
You're thinking Edge of Time.
no,
I
it
think.
shows right there.
Oh, she was in this one too. Oh, I forget that.
Oh yeah, anything has Black Cat, and I like it. But
That's true.
I also never played it. I'm gonna admit I never played that
You're
video
like
game. I
me
just
with
knew.
Namor. I'm like, is there a dude in a Speedo in this? Oh boy! Give me Namor.
You must be interesting at a beach there if that's the case. Just
Oh,
like,
definitely.
Oh,
Namor?
wait.
Namor?
Are you Namor?
Wait until our cruise. Then he's gonna sit there and
Oh,
he's gonna be
God.
posting on Instagram. Guys, I found Namor.
found
Wait,
Namor.
no, that one's Namor. Wait, no, that
Who
one.
knew there were so many Namors?
Everybody's cosplaying Namor on this Halloween cruise.
So thanks, Sony, for hopefully by the time this comes out, this will be the one instance where this is outdated and they've worked it out. I'm not holding my breath.
Oh, there's no way in any circle of hell is this going to be worked out in a week. Every rumor, every person saying it's going to be worked out in a week, no. I'm
They've
sorry.
tried
There's
to
no
work
way.
it out since February. That's how long
Exactly.
they've been
Yeah.
at this, and they haven't worked it
There's-
out.
there's no way.
You think it's happening overnight, guys? Come on.
That
Come on.
means then their deadline to have everything worked out is probably coming to an unfortunate close call.
Oh, it's
No, well, I mean, if you think about it, when's Spider-Man 3 going to go in production?
it's,
Late next year?
When does it have to? Is
Like,
the real
it's a
question.
3-year window from the last film, so they got to get it out by 2022, by July of 2022.
They've got over a year at least to get this thing sorted out.
Because I mean, remember how fast it was between Andrew Garfield taking over for Tobey Maguire? It was a couple of months because they were like, we got to get it out because pre-production on everything new, which means you start off from zero. So they're gonna have to start off with new concepts, new ideas, new everything. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they do this. Their one savior though is if they toss them into Venom. Because then it's a Spider-Man movie and it extends their thing. But who knows? This is Sony. You know, it's anything they do, we just ask questions because we're all confused. I don't,
Yep.
unless it's the gaming division, they make some logical choices. But it's a different
Does
topic.
Venom have a writer on it, or I know we got a director, but I can't remember if they got a writer on it or not.
I mean, did
Or
Venom
if it's
1
the same
actually
guy
have a
kind of-
writer on it? Let's be real.
I mean, it had crayon. That's about it.
So there you go.
No,
That-
it had scented markers, guys. It was scented marker, not crayon.
This one is grape and this one is watermelon, and you sniff both, and I write a script. Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Still with the markers.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Like on their
totally.
nose.
They're Ralph, crayons and all. That's them. That's them. So that's our Spider-Man talk for the. Well, after a year worth of rumors that Black Knight is coming to the MCU, Black Knight is coming to the MCU, played by
Yeah.
Jon Snow. Hype.
That was the funniest thing. You sat there and you're like, I bet you the actor who plays Jon Snow was so excited to finally not need to wear a heavy coat and carry a sword. And here he is with a heavy coat carrying a sword again.
You're gonna have this cloak-looking garb gear, medieval things, and this sword.
So he's gone from one family that could have destroyed the world or made it really good to another family that could have destroyed the world and made it really good.
Yep.
So.
So, this is really exciting because Black Knight is not being standalone. He's going to be part of the Eternals, which is really interesting and awesome.
We don't know if he is going to be standalone yet.
Yeah, exactly. They alluded to that. They're like, he might have a future. It's like, okay, Disney Plus series perhaps after Eternals.
That'd be interesting.
I mean, sure. That means Weird World, hopefully. So
Yeah.
something completely different.
So, Mitch, how do you feel about the whole Black Knight Eternal scenario?
I mean, at first, I don't know much about Black Knight. Like, I know a little bit about Dane Whitman, so I was a bit confused. And then it's like you kind of like you look back at what he's done, and it's like, oh yeah, he went out with Cersei when they're on the Avengers. That makes sense. So,
I mean,
yeah.
That's pretty much my extent. My extent of it is like maybe 3 comics with Black Knight, and none of them were directly Black Knight reading, which obviously I'm going to fix that by the end of the year and read some, Black Knight worth of comics to get my knowledge on them, but I feel like this character is going to be a little bit more unique when he shows up as opposed to some of the others. It's like, again, his unique look, the sword and everything. I feel like they're trying to...
Well, that's if he has it.
True.
That's my thing. Like, did they just introduce Kit Harington as Dane Whitman and then just do it that way? Or is he already Black Knight with the ebony blade, or hopefully not the lightsaber, because yuck. But...
You don't want the saber, bro? You can cross-market that.
Oh my gosh.
No, I do not.
Well,
his entire point as a character is to have a cursed sword. You can't have a cursed sword if it's not the cursed sword. No.
Yeah.
That is true. I don't know. This character excites me from the aspect that I know nothing about him. Like, out of everything we talked about in this show, I know more about him than the Black Knight. So I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a chance, and especially that they got an actor who I liked in Game of Thrones, and I liked them in Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, it was Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, it was. Wow, good shout.
Well, we just watched it kind of recently.
Remember, remember Pompeii? Huh?
No, I don't. No,
nobody does because it didn't make any money. So,
but like, here's the thing with Dane Whitman. Like, obviously, it all harkens back to like Arthurian legend.
Yep.
And like King Arthur and Excalibur and all that. So, if you're gonna do a movie about like the history of everything, you could just slip that right in there. It's like, hey, shit, it's the thing.
Because I'm just reading like the wiki. Just the only primary paragraph, so I don't have to like try reading everything. It says here that he's actually the 3rd one to inherit the Black Knight name because it's his ancestry line that has that sword that gets passed down.
I could see how that could tie into Eternals since they're going to be spanning the history of the world. I mean, that would make sense.
So it's easy to have him in there as Black Knight. It's just a question of, are they going to do it? Like, are you going to take away from the Eternals? Like, because you have a lot to sell up with them. Like, there is a ton. Like, putting Black Knight in there, maybe you could like wonder it slightly and be like, hey, this is an artifact we took away from humanity because some douchebag in like King Arthur time in England was like about to wipe everyone out with the sword. Like,
Yeah.
And then Whitman does the old Terrence Howard, and then they recast him. But I don't know.
No, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of ways they could go on this, and this was like my biggest question mark. I'm like, oh, Kit Harington's Black Knight. All right, we're gonna get a movie. Then they're like, Eternals, but maybe. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's a sly way to not confirm this. Like, it's weird, but okay.
I think the fact that he's starting in a movie kind of means that if they're going to do a Black Knight anything, it'll probably be a movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's going to be really interesting, but I'm excited to have Kit Harington in the Marvel movies. I wonder actually how long like his contract's going to be. Like, are we going to have him for a while? Like,
I'm assuming they probably got at least.
I was going to say, with the character that he is, Black Knight was leading the Avengers in the 90s when Cersei was there, so he's probably going to be there for a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, so right now, Eternals has what, 2 Game of Thrones characters?
Yeah.
Yes. The next time I'll see you, you'll be in black. So yeah.
So man, they're really just poaching Game of Thrones, which you know what I'm okay with, because I mean, yeah,
why not?
It's Game of Thrones, and I'm fine with it because they were all great actors. So
as long as we don't get Sophie Turner, like just keep Sophie Turner away. Just keep her away,
please. No.
If you're gonna get anyone, get Emilia Clarke. Bring the Queen over. Like,
yes.
Oh, you know she's probably sitting there.
She's busy waiting for the Solo 2 phone to ring.
Oh, she'll be waiting for a while. So.
Don't start.
You should have heard him this morning about Solo. He sat there like first thing this morning. He was like, "Yeah, everybody's so hyped because they now get to watch Solo for free. That's why everybody pre-ordered Disney Plus."
It's true. That is.
And it's not even on there. So.
I know. Damn Netflix deal. People still won't see the damn movie. This is my curse.
I mean, it's self-inflicted, so yeah.
That's true. So our final topic of the main show, Venomverse future. Oh boy. Yes, it has a future.
I want it to be known I was against this topic.
I gotta stake my claim on this one. I said no.
Like, what future?
Well, now it just got bigger than ever, considering they're just gonna literally stick Spider-Man in there.
And that's the end of that topic, so moving on.
So, here's the latest confirmed news. Woody Harrelson is officially back as Carnage.
Are they going to get him a real wig this time?
I hope not. I hope he keeps the terrible wig he had last time.
God. It literally looked like a wig that you can go to Party City or Spirit Halloween and get and put on. It's like, what, is he bald and he felt self-conscious about it? So they're like, here, throw him a wig in jail so he feels better about himself.
So weird. But we're at the point now where the Venomverse, oh my god, I can't believe it's an actual thing, is actually the second most successful comic shared universe. And it has one film.
Yeah, it actually is.
I don't know how the world will let this happen with Shazam out there, but you failed us. I don't...
Like, mind you, the 90s kid in me is excited to see this.
Well, that's why it was a big success. Everybody I know that's 28 to 35 loves Venom.
I'm going to tell you right now, I drowned that 90s kid inside you.
Well, like, and the thing is like, I'm not even, like, the biggest fan of Venom. I am Carnage and Anti-Venom. Those are my two, like, I love them so much more than Venom himself.
So, you like slightly more angrier Venom and chilled out white Venom.
Yeah,
Yes.
basically.
Better than Venom.
After this ends, Shay's gonna go listen to Linkin Park crawling in my skin while drawing Venom.
We listened to that on our way to the gym. Okay?
I know, but you're gonna listen to it unironically.
No.
Oh.
No.
The edginess.
Damn gym makes me listen to it too much.
And the thing with this is, I don't know how the crowds are gonna react to Morbius. That's a big question mark.
I can tell you right now, they're not gonna, because no one's gonna see it.
I'm gonna see it, damn it.
Unlike you, the world is not hyped. Especially, like, you have to stop and think about when it comes to Morbius, the backlash of Jared Leto as Joker is unfortunately going to seep into this movie. Because nobody besides 10 of us sat there for 3.5 hours watching Blade Runner.
When Jared Leto was like, I try to make myself blind for that role. It's like, okay, Leto, all right.
Like,
all right.
Oh, I forgot he was in that movie.
For like 4 minutes.
Now I like it slightly less.
Yeah.
So it's Morbius is a really strange one.
But okay, remember a year and a half ago or something, actually a year ago, we were sitting on this podcast going, all right, guys, so Venom, it's going to tap out at like 350, 400 mil max, and this is going nowhere, right? And then it does like 850, and we're all sitting here going, okay, so we were wrong.
Yeah.
Let's play with the notion that this is a success. What happens?
Well, I mean, one's Venom, one's Morbius.
Right.
People know who Venom are, and Venom has a fan base. No one cares about Morbius if they actually know who he is.
And the vampire day and age right now is not at a hype. It is now with Blade.
When Blade comes back, it'll be like, oh man, that vampire hype is back. But yeah, we're gone past that. I don't even know, like, we don't know anything about Morbius. And then, you know, Venom 2 is adding Carnage, fine. They're gonna... a part of me feels like they're gonna try to do something with Spider-Man
in both
of those, because
yeah,
Morbius is 11 months away from release, and he's still got reshoots to go through. I'm shaking right now that they're gonna be like, nope, we're gonna add Spider-Man somehow.
I have not seen one screen leak. Is literally nobody even caring enough
there
for that movie?
has been about maybe 6 set photos, but that's about it.
Yep.
Oh.
Nobody cares.
And all of them are literally just Jared Leto in a coat, and it's like, oh, cool. Oh no, I tell a lie. There was the Kraven's bakery crap.
Yeah, and Silver Sable's hair salon.
Yeah. Because and this is the studio that people want to have Spider-Man.
But Mitch, His suit
No, no,
had
no but,
wrinkles.
no but, no
His
but,
suit had
no but.
wrinkles, therefore TASM
but.
was great. Wrinkles.
No, but. Tom Holland's suit has wrinkles. No, we saw it all baggy and wrinkly. No,
True.
Oh, that's because he didn't touch the spider to
People
make
forget why his suit is so skin tight because the narratives, but you know, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna see Venom 2, obviously. I'm gonna see Morbius because I've staked my claim on that movie as the only fan, I guess. So.
Oh, was that intentional? Was that not? I'm going to take the silence as not and not even bring it up again, so you can move on.
So, Venomverse, in the next year, we're going to know what the direction of this franchise is, but you can probably kiss those TV shows goodbye that were in development.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're gone.
Those are all dead.
And I have a very sad feeling that we're only going to see Venomverse and no more Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah, that's a possibility as well.
No more
no
animated.
one saw Spider-Verse, let's be honest. So.
Oh, that is true, too. That was like a Bumblebee level of nobody saw that, so.
We saw it, I think, 5 times in theater.
Good movie.
And in different states.
Made what it made. Cool.
Yeah.
In different states.
It's true. We're always like, hey, a new friend is with us. Want to go watch Spider-Verse? Yes, you do. Okay, let's go.
We were in Florida off a cruise boat and saw Spider-Verse.
We're like, we need to go watch this again.
We love that movie.
So, in conclusion to the Venomverse talk, please go watch Spider-Verse. And there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that has brought us to the end of the main show. It's been a long podcast. We did over that hour mark. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. As always, thank you guys all for listening to the show, for liking, subscribing, doing all that, commenting, notification bell, whatever the hell else. For the members, remember, within 24 hours of this podcast going live, you guys will get your exclusive topic, which this week, WandaVision, details, theories, and massive more content. There you go. That's it. That's what you're getting. So, thanks for listening to this, and we will catch you guys next week.